welcome back to Girly Squirrely, or Hey Girly Squirrely. I'm saying hey to the Girly Squirrelies. I don't care who you are, you're a Girly Squirrely. So, it's really hot in here. Yeah. Hey, hot in. So hot in here. The first time I ever heard that song was on Agent Cody Banks, the film. Yeah. So I associate that song with that movie, just like how I associate Hungry Like the Wolf with the movie Big Fat Liar. But that's pretty much every song that I hear in a movie. Like, I will associate it with said movie that it's in. And I feel like that's most people. Um, the time change, I've felt it. I've been feeling that time change for the past couple days. The time changed 2 days ago, and I'm still like, whoa, that's a shift in the stratosphere. But we got more sunlight. It's not sunlight right now. It's dark. It's dark outside right now. Even though it's 8:30. I'm waiting for the days where it's like 10 p.m. and it's like still bright outside. Like, I love it. But we've got some more sunlight, and I just saw this picture that like changed my whole world. It was like a map of the United States, and like the further north you go, the more sunlight got added during daylight savings time. Now, how does that work? And then I realized I think it's because the earth is round. Some flat earthers may have just unsubscribed. I'm so sorry to break it to you, but the earth is round. And so, like, I guess you get more sunlight the more you get on that curvature. But, like, so we got about, like, an hour more of sunlight. But then, like, North United States, they get almost 2 hours more sunlight. I bet they're happy up there. I bet they're really happy. So, yeah, let's just move past the most boring subject of all time. Anytime I'm on the phone with someone or I'm talking to them, I always have to talk about the weather. I always have to, and that's my downfall. But I think it's because I like having things in common with people and having something that we're all experiencing. I love something that's like unifying, that like everyone's experiencing, and we can talk about it no matter how dull or boring that might be. Like, I'm trying to think of something else. Like, when everyone wears green for St. Patrick's Day, I'm like, oh, that's cute. Or like holidays and stuff. I don't know. Me acting like that's like the craziest thing in the world. Sorry, my voice is kind of like a mess. I don't know why. But I hope you still enjoy. So, what was I? Oh, so there's this. I just have to mention this because I haven't stopped thinking about it since I saw it. So, there's this TikTok account, and they post like random Mitchell Muso from Hannah Montana, Mitchell Muso TikToks. And they'll like come around every once in a while. Like, I'm following this account, so I'm like in on the lore. But like, they'll come up every few months and then post a bunch, and then they'll like go away for a few months. And I love accounts like that, actually, like keep us wanting more. And what's the account called, in case you're curious? It's just Mitchell Muso 3 exclamation points. And it's like exactly my type of humor, like down to a point. And I know this now even more so because the person that has the account sometimes replies to comments, and it just makes me laugh so hard. And you won't think this is funny, probably, but so it was like this video of Mitchell Muso, and I think he was talking about like a date he went on and stuff like that. And these are all like old videos too. So someone commented and they were like, "Where did you find this footage?" Like, cause it's some of it's like deep cut, like Mitchell Muso lore. And so the person commented, "Where did you find this footage?" And the account replied, "What do you mean? You took this video." like, what does that mean? Like, that's so funny how someone's like, where'd you find this video? Like, who interviewed him for this video? And they're like, "What do you mean you took this video?" And I was crying laughing. And it's like not even that funny. But I always think stuff is funny that's not even that funny. And I've been called out for it before. Like, I remember I was watching TV with like a few people and I was like dying laughing at this. It was like a cartoon or something that was just like on TV. And they were like, "Why are you laughing?" And I was like, "This is funny. This is humor. This is like top-notch humor to me." So yeah, that was just something that I thought was just absolutely just a knee slapper for me. So the Sphere. We need to talk about the Sphere in Las Vegas. So if you don't know what the Sphere is, it's not just for concerts, but it's like a venue for different things. It's kind of like it's a sphere. Okay. And even the outside is like this big screen, aka sphere. Or it's like half a circle, sphere. Okay. And there are like concerts there. I think they show like, IMAX type things. So when you're in there, it's also just like a huge screen. Like the entire place is like one big screen. And so people have been having concerts there. Like U2 had some concerts there, which I'm jealous of the people that got to be there, because U2 and the Sphere I'm in. And now the Backstreet's back, and they're at the Sphere. They're going to be at the Sphere. And I think it's going to be like a Millennium concert, like a throwback. They're going to play like a lot, if not all, the songs from their Millennium album. Hello. And people were into that too. And then recently, there have been rumors that Harry Styles is going to be at the Sphere as well. Okay. And this is where people started they didn't start losing me, because I would love to see Harry Styles at the Sphere, but they were losing the Harry fans. They were like, why is he going to be at the Sphere? Like, what? They're hating on the Sphere. And I think it has to do with the age range, because the Sphere is either like really cool to some people, or it's like really cringe, or like I guess they think they're like doing too much, that everyone's like, "You're doing too much." I feel like they think that the Sphere is just doing too much, which it could be. I've never been, but I love it personally because it's like two of my favorite things, like a concert in a planetarium, basically. Yeah. And I went to a planetarium the last time I went was like a couple years ago, and it's just like, it's my version of a roller coaster. That's the type of thing that I like, is like you can have a huge screen and like feel like you're in space. Like I went to the Space and Rocket Center, and that was where we went to the planetarium. And it's just like so cool to me. So it's like it's kind of like an adrenaline rush to me, because sometimes I'll like have to close my eyes and I can't even look at the screen because it's so like, whoa, like I feel like I'm in space. This is too much. So I need to talk about the Space and Rocket Center sometime because I love that place. I love it. Um, we went on this ride, and I was pretty scared. I'm not gonna say I was terrified, but I was pretty scared because it's one of those like enclosed rides, and you're supposed to feel like you're like going up into space in it. And I thought it was gonna be like intense. Like, I think there's this ride at Disney World that like people, they literally have like bags for you in case you get sick. And I was like, oh, this is gonna be like that. But we get on there, and I think you could do different levels, and I think we did like medium. We get in there, and it's like a screen like this big. And I was like, okay, I'm good. I'm good. But it was still kind of an adrenaline rush. I just can't with stuff like that. I can't do it. So, but anyway, Harry might be at the Sphere. And I think people are just hating. So, I don't know. Like, I get why people wouldn't want that. Also, because people have been waiting for so long for Harry to go on tour or to like do anything. I think it's been like a few years since he's really like done anything music wise or like come out with an album. I think his last album was in 22, 32. Maybe, I think it was 2022. Well, it doesn't matter. If this was me like 10 years ago, I would be so disappointed in myself. But I haven't kept up with them like I used to. But yeah, I think people are just hating on the Sphere, but I love it. Like, I would do anything to go to that Sphere. Um, but I would, this is going to be crazy, but I would honestly, out of those three concerts, I would probably most likely want to go to the Backstreet Boys concert because I feel like the visuals would be so cool at like a Millennium Backstreet Boys concert. Because if you know like the visuals of that album, it's like futuristic and cool. Like, I just think it would be so cool. But I would go to any, of course. But I want to pull up to that Sphere. But speaking of music, I was thinking about this the other day. Like, I've been listening to more music than usual. I'll like go through phases where I just like listen to more music. And I've realized that love songs written by men versus women they're two different POVs, which is like what you would expect. But I've seen a lot of the men written or performed love songs are more so like, I messed up, I fumbled, like, please take me back, that kind of thing. Like, it's always like, I messed up, please take me back, you know. It's always like that. But the girls' ones are never really like that. They're not like, I messed up, like, take me back. Which is, like, it's crazy when you start to think about it. And then the women's are more, they're more broad, I think. Like, just, I love you. Why, or like, why doesn't he love me back? Or like, why did he leave me? Or why doesn't he love me more type of thing. Or I guess these are more like breakup songs than love songs, but all the men's ones are like, I cheated on you. oh, I'm so sorry, but I love you. And I'm like, That's why I like they're very few and far between, but there are some male yearning songs, which I love, where they're just simply saying that they love someone, which is less common than you would think. But I do listen to more of the girly music than the guys. Yeah, I just thought that was an interesting like dichotomy of the music. I keep thinking I'm hearing someone next door, so I keep like pausing, but we'll forget about that. So yeah, I think just you just need to communicate. That's the thing, is that like we need to communicate to each other, which is easier said than done. We don't communicate very well, especially if like someone messes up, or if there are feelings between people. You're so used to seeing in movies them just saying like, oh, I love you, I've always loved you, or like, I messed up, I'm so sorry, and like, I'll never do it again, like that type of thing. And then they work it out. A lot of the times, a lot of things are unsaid in general. Like, a lot of things are just left unsaid and may never be said, because it just causes, it can sometimes, it's scary. Sometimes you think it can cause more issues. Or you think the other person won't hear you out. You're afraid that the feelings won't be reciprocated, that kind of thing. And that's just real life. And that's how movies are not real life, you know? So, so I went, it was a while ago, I went to this place, and it was a magical place, as our Queen Nicole Kidman would say about AMC. We come to this place for magic. That's me talking about Friends of the Library. I think this is a common thing at different libraries, but I hadn't been in so long, and it's just a gorgeous place. It's a gorgeous place. So if I go like thrifting or something like that, I'll always go to like the book section. And there are some good books, you know, like whatever. But if you go to the Friends of the Library, if you don't know what the Friends of the Library is, it's like, at least at our library, it's like right before you walk into the actual library, there's like a little room, and they have a bunch of used books in there. And it's just so cool and like cozy, and it's been the same for so long too, which I love. And you can find like good books for like really cheap, and like on Saturdays they have like special sales sometimes. But it's just like a beautiful place. Did I buy any books when I went? No. See, I started this thing like a while ago where I was like, okay, if I don't absolutely need it, I'm not going to buy it. And I actually I stick to that a lot. Like, more than one would think. But of course I don't do that sometimes, but I've kind of stuck to that a little bit too well sometimes, where I'm like, if I don't absolutely know everything about this book and know that I will read it tomorrow, then I won't buy it. And then I just don't buy it. But then I don't really regret it, though. That's one thing that I realize with like certain things. Sometimes, very rarely, will I regret like not buying something. And this sounds like really pick me of me to say that, but that's just kind of how it is lately, I guess. I don't know, just I don't want too many things. I already have enough things, I think. And I guess that's just not what's important to me right now. It's just having like things. I'm trying not to get like fulfillment in like buying things because I have done that before. And when I see certain people with things, I automatically thought I had to have it, or I was just like not worthy of anything. So I think I've gone kind of like kind of the opposite of that now, which I will still feel that, but then I won't act upon it. Like I won't buy the thing that I think I need to fill some void. So yeah, but the library is beautiful. It's beautiful. And it's like I could support the library because I think the money just goes straight to the library, and I'm like, I won't give you my 12 cents. No, thank you. No, thank you. I'm good. So I haven't watched Love is Blind this season or for the past like couple seasons. I think there have been like 8 seasons, and I'm like, I thought I watched a lot of this show, but I didn't apparently. But I was really thinking about like, could I go on Love is Blind? No. I don't believe I could because, first of all, the show in like the first chunk of it, which I love the first chunk of the show so much more than the rest of it. Like up until the time when they meet is when I'm like so invested. And then for some reason, like the rest of it is just like, I don't like it as much because it's actually like a really good, like a show. Like that's a good idea for a show, or like concept. But then after that, it's just kind of like, okay, it's just like a normal dating show. But when you can't see each other, they're in 2 separate rooms and there's a wall between them. And they can hear each other and they can talk, but they can't see each other. And I think there's some good things about that. Like you can really get to know someone that way. But the thing that I've noticed is that some of these people, I think in like later seasons, they realized like, oh, I need to talk like this to get someone to like me. Because I'll notice that I'm like, this is not how you would talk on a date. This is not the real you. And they like, I think they're too aware that they're on camera now. And I wish there was a way that they could film it, not without them knowing, but just like more of a secretive, like private conversation kind of thing. But there's no way to do that because they know they're being filmed. So it's just so awkward though. Like I just couldn't imagine talking to someone and not knowing what they looked like and then going to meet them. But I think that was a thing like for the people out there that when you like You've Got Mail is a perfect example of that where it like worked out perfectly for them. Of course, which is why I love the movie so much. It's in my top 4 on Letterboxd. But that's like the best outcome for that. It's someone that you like hated in the beginning, but then you realized at the exact moment that y'all were about to meet that you actually liked them. So I think people did that sometimes. Back when like there was IM and like chat rooms and stuff, they would like just chat online with no idea what they looked like and then go meet them, which is crazy. But there is a side to it that I think is really, it is romantic because I have heard of some, I've heard of sometimes that working out. I know some people that it has worked out for them. Like if they spoke and then they didn't like see each other, or maybe they've seen like pictures of each other but they haven't like seen each other in real life. I think it can work. But with this, it's too much. It's too much. I do think there is a side to it that's romantic, but I think in the later seasons they kind of let that go. They kind of let the romance go. Like, not, they didn't just let them just do what they needed to do and just talk. And they tried to up the drama a little too much. And people like me, like, I don't care if there's drama. I just want to see what they're talking about. I just want to know what are y'all talking about? That's it. But it's so awkward that when they meet each other, I'm like, it would just be so uncomfortable. But there are some of them that like describe how they look, and then they'll meet them, and then they kind of already know what they look like, which is wild. But anyway, Love is Blind. Sorry, won't be going on it any time soon. There have been like a crazy amount of people from like around my area that have gone on to dating shows, which is what, like, they're, it like big time like dating shows, and I'm like, am I next? You know, it's almost like a thing that's like, who's next? Like, who's going on a dating show next? And it's entertaining though. I haven't watched them though because it's like too close to home. So, but it's kind of crazy though. Um, oh my goodness. So I was like driving around the other day, and I saw this. It kind of looks like a truck, like a trailer kind of thing, like an RV. And I looked at it and I was like, my eyes got all big, and I was like, I haven't seen one of these in years. Guess what it was? A fire simulator. Y'all remember fire simulators? So, I don't know if other schools did this, but I don't remember like a lot of like specific things about when I was a small child, but I remember this very vividly. Very, 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 very. So, I was in kindergarten, I think, and these people came to our school, some firefighters, and they pull up in this trailer thing, and they're like, so we're going to teach you about fire safety, which is good. Like, that's awesome. Like, teach us about fire safety. So it was this. See, I can't even talk about it without like almost tearing up. Like, I don't think I could do this to this day. So it's this thing that they had us kindergartners, they had us go into this fire simulator. In this, it's pretty small and it's like enclosed, no windows, no way. And it's like this little, I may be picturing it wrong, but I think it was like set up like a little RV, like a house, like a little house kind of thing. And they would closed the door on you. So you would go in there. I think I was by myself. Like, I think they had us go in there like one at a time by ourselves, which is, first of all, is traumatizing in itself to be like locked in this room by yourself. I'm sure they didn't lock us in, but I think I thought I was. And then you're in this room. I remember it being like kind of dark, and smoke starts filling up the room. Okay. Smoke starts filling up the room. I feel it getting hot. And I had to get down on my stomach and roll across the floor. You know, they were teaching us to stop, drop, and roll. Okay. And I like did that, and I don't know, I guess the door was still closed or something, but when I did that, I remember I couldn't get out, or I thought I couldn't get out, and I started freaking out. I started crying. I wanted out now. And it was traumatizing. It was pretty traumatizing. I'd like to see a video of what it actually looks like compared to what my little mind thought it was. But I'm sure it was not that dramatic or traumatic, but it was pretty traumatizing at the time, because you know how things when you're little are just more, everything's bigger, everything's scarier, everything's just heightened. So that was pretty scary. It was pretty scary. But I saw one of those in a parking lot somewhere, and I was like, whoa. I remember that. I'd like to do that. I honestly like to go back to it. Face my fear. Face your fear and it will disappear. I don't remember who said that, but I always remember that. So, speaking of kids, I've seen all of these videos on TikTok and stuff. There'll be these videos of kids and they're acting like adults, and it's supposed to be cute little videos of them just acting like adults. But this may be an unpopular opinion, but when I see those videos, something's off about those videos, because I know that kids acting like adults, speaking like adults, sometimes it's cute. There are situations where it's cute, where they're, if they're putting on fake little makeup or doing stuff like that, or if they do something that they see. I saw this one video of this boy and he crossed his legs like his grandpa did. Stuff like that is cute. But when it comes to the way that they're speaking and the way that they carry themselves, almost, where they're kind of, you can tell that it's not the kid's fault, obviously, but it seems like the parents are pushing a certain persona of their kid to the public to make them seem like they're an adult. And that's always not sat right with me. It doesn't sit right with me. I can't think of specific things, but maybe y'all know what I mean. When, if they just sound too smart, not that they sound too smart, but it's just I know your parent put you up to this. You know what I mean? It kind of, I think because it reminds me too much of family vloggers and how they would make their kids do stuff, and then it comes out later oh, they told their child to say this on camera or something like that. And you just know that it's not the kid being this way. It's the parent influencing the child, if that makes sense. I think the worst ones to me are when the child, it's usually negative things. If they're way too sassy or something, or if they're just they'll do something that they had to have seen an adult do that to be that sassy and say those things, and people think it's cute, and I'm this is not cute. If this was my child, I'd be oh no. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, kids acting like adults. And that's a tough thing, because that can be, I don't know. I guess the part that gets me is that it's coming from the parents, and they're trying to make it come across that this is just the kid's personality, when it's truly not. You can just feel when it's not. I just like just let kids be kids, where a kid can be a kid, take them to Chuck E. Cheese anyway. Oh, in case y'all didn't know, more sports news from your sports broadcaster. But this is like big news for the girls too. Like, this is big stuff, people. The Yankees baseball team, they now allow them to have beards. So if you didn't know, Yankees players always have to be clean shaven, or they used to be now. But they always had to be clean shaven. None of them could have long hair. They'd have like pretty short hair and clean shaven faces. That was just like a tradition. I don't know how it started, but it's been like a tradition for them. Now they can have beards, and so I'm like, let's see some 5 o'clock shadows, y'all. So I'm so excited for that. Like, I'm actually so excited. But the thing is that I think a lot of them are still gonna be clean shaven just to like keep up with the tradition of it. There are some that that will probably have a little bit of a beard, but they can't have like full on beards. They have to be, I think they said, like well groomed facial hair. So it still has to be like neat and nice. But that's exciting stuff, y'all. Like, it's really exciting. So I just thought y'all had to know. So y'all may want to tune in to a Yankees game sometime. And also my battery's about to die on the camera. That's really exciting. We're just struggling over here. So I guess that'll be all for this episode, because that's really, I don't want to just talk about random stuff that I haven't, that I don't really care about, so anyway, I will talk to you guys next week on Hey Girly Squirrely. I'm gonna go over to Patreon to talk about a really important deep topic, so get ready for that. All right, bye.